welcome to a special edition of the PA System. I'm here with Jason Freeman, and we are hoping to brighten your day with a little fun and laughter. So, welcome to the show, Jason.
Hey, thanks for having me, Pamela, and you have other special guests like Woody.
Woody, I love Woody. I'm so glad he's here. Thanks for joining us, Woody.
And then Sasquatch.
Oh, now tell me his name again.
I think I said Sasquatch, but maybe it's a bear. I don't
Okay,
know.
I just wanted to make sure I heard you correctly because he looks kind of adorable and cute. So, but I'll go with it. I mean,
Oh,
he
so
also,
what? So
no,
what should his name be?
I don't know. That's a great question. I mean, it works. It's okay. I just was expecting something a little bit, bigger and scarier to go with that name.
Like his name. You want his name to be like Timmy.
Maybe something like that. But I kind of like the irony of it too. Like it's kind of cute.
Uh,
You might want to stick with it. I think it works.
and then here is, you know this guy, right?
It kind of it maybe Charlie Brown. He's kind
Yeah,
of little.
hey, Charlie. Hey, it's fun to be here.
Oh, I love it. And so these are your friends that keep you company during the day, or you guys just kind of hang out, or
Yeah, you know, in these modern times with, just,
stuck inside alone all the time?
what?
When you're stuck inside alone.
Yeah, with that type of stuff, you just need a community,
Hey,
so
nothing wrong with that.
Sasquatch is a great Sasquatch.
Well, and we all know from watching, Woody that he's very clever and very funny and creative, right? I mean, if you've seen the Toy Story movies, you know that never a dull moment when Woody's around.
And he likes to jump.
He'll jump for your love.
Yeah.
What more do you ask for?
Thank you, Woody. You're welcome, Jason.
Well, I feel bad that I didn't invite Buzz. He's somewhere.
Oh, he's somewhere.
I'm not really sure where you know how Buzz is. I mean, he's out and about in the galaxy doing Buzz Lightyear type things. So,
Yeah,
I mean, if I would have known Woody was coming, I could have invited him, but it's hard to get him on a moment's notice.
but he might be on the other side of the Milky Way right now.
Yeah, for all we know, right?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So, or like hanging out on Mars, or checking out the chicks at Venus, probably. I'm just
The
throwing it
Venus
out there.
chicks
You know
are
what I'm saying?
amazing.
Yeah. So he's out there doing his cruising the galaxy thing.
Yeah.
Right. Well, all the same, I'm glad Woody could make it.
I'm really glad to be here on Good Vibes. I like good vibe. I vibe good. I don't imbibe, but I vibe.
Woody's
I
got great
vibe.
vibes.
I'm worthy,
The
so
best
I
kind
don't
of
imbibe. You know.
vibes. Although I will admit, one of my favorite scenes is, and I think it's in the first movie where, they're going out for the final like mission, and Mr. Potato Head, he's packing all of his stuff. Actually, Mrs. Potato Head is packing all of his things for him, and she makes sure that he has his angry eyes. I don't know why. I just think it's funny.
But
Now, if
happy
you don't remember
eyes
the scene, you
today,
have to go back
happy
and
eyes.
watch it.
What?
So if you don't remember the scene, you have to go back and watch it because it's worth it.
Yeah. I need to rewatch it.
So is Toy Story one of your favorite movies?
Um, Actually, no. I mean, I liked it, but someone just gave me Woody one time, and I like Woody a lot.
Okay,
He's
that
fun
works.
to have
Yeah,
around.
cool. I mean, I assume there must have been some kind of story behind Woody. So
So actually, since you asked, my friend Jay Shoop gave me Woody because I had a hard time making offers at the end of my talk. So he's like, just have Woody make the offer.
I love it. It's a great idea.
And it was fun.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that actually is quite clever. And
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't love Woody, right? And if you don't love Woody, that's a whole different topic.
It is.
Uh, well, so we kind of decided that we wanted to do something fun with this show, and I wanted to throw out some cheesy jokes because I'm a
Oh,
huge fan of cheesy jokes.
yay.
So I want to see how well you do. I've got a couple for you. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, so these are winter themed cheesy jokes.
I'll
So
put
here we
on my
go.
cheesy joke hat.
Winter themed cheesy jokes. What did the snowman and his wife put over their baby's crib?
Put over the baby's what?
Crib. So you know where the baby sleeps, his crib
Yeah.
or her crib. Yeah.
Well, what did they put over the baby's crib?
A snowmobile. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Ha ha ha.
So the baby could look up at the snowmobile and go cuckoo. Oh, I like that. That's cute.
Okay. I got another one. I got another one for you. What do you get from sitting on the snow for too long?
Cold.
Besides that,
Plus,
Polaroids.
what?
Polaroids.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, I
Nice.
know.
Nice.
It's like you want to laugh, but you don't want to laugh, right? Okay, were those are my cheesy winter jokes. So that's all I have for you. Bada boom.
I love how creative people are to think of either of those jokes. That would take like really thinking outside the box.
They are clever. They are clever and a little silly, which is fun.
Yeah, yeah.
I like your cat, by the way. What does it say on the front?
So it says Junior Liga, and I think my parents got this for me when I was a little kid.
That's awesome. Were you a junior leaguer? Did you play baseball?
No. But I mean, I cough, but I never play baseball.
Okay.
Really. Play some kickball. Did you play
Okay, yeah. So that's
softball or
baseball. That's what little kids play, I guess. They don't really play baseball, they play T-ball, right?
did you do t-ball?
So, the 70s were a different era, right? And so actually not enough has changed because still to this day I don't believe that there's very many girls baseball leagues, right? Like there's softball, but there's not baseball. But I was actually a huge fan of playing baseball. And so I was kind of distraught that I couldn't play baseball. And so I asked my brother's baseball coach if I could be the bat girl because that's as close as I was going to get to the field. So I did get to be the Batgirl, and it was like the highlight of my year, pretty much.
Wow. So as the Batgirl, what did you get to do?
So the Batgirl runs out after the batter has hit and gets the bat and takes it back to the dugout. Very important job.
You won't believe this, but I have a bat in honor of you being the Batgirl.
That's so sweet. I love it. You came so prepared. I'm really impressed.
Yeah. I have to say I am too.
I love how
That's
you just
amazing.
produced that out of nowhere too. Like you just
really
had a
amazing.
bat sitting there.
That's awesome.
That was impressive. This is reminiscent of the conversation that we had before we got on here today, where maybe we've just had some mixed brainwaves over the last 24 hours. So somehow you get that.
I have a baseball hat too.
Right. Yes.
Gosh.
What are the odds?
Crazy.
The people out there are going to think that we're joking when we're actually not, which is kind of funny.
So next, tell a story about canned meat.
About canned meat?
Yeah.
Canned meat, like Spam?
Yeah.
Like what kind of story?
Just any story.
Any story. Well, I don't know. That was like one of my nicknames when I was a kid. People, of course it's a joke because your name is Pam. And so everybody wants to put the S at the front.
Oh, wow.
And nickname you something else, of course.
Wow. We are on the same wavelength.
Imagine that. Yep. Those elementary school jokes never die.
And I just had this. I never related this to the name Pam at all. I just had that, and so that's why I said tell a story about Spam, because I thought it would be cool.
That is ironic.
No, tell a story about a school bus.
A school bus. I don't have a story about a school bus. Sorry. You tell a story about a school bus.
So when I was in 4th through 7th grade, I rode the school bus, and it was loud, and I thought it wasn't my favorite. So sometimes my mom would pick me and my friend Lamont up from school, so we had to ride it to school, but didn't have to ride it home. So anyway.
Do you have a song for that as well? Or just a story?
The wheels on the bus go on and on and on and on.
Nice. Yeah. No, that's good.
Do you have a story about an octopus?
I don't. I do not. Do you?
We should have stuck with the bat. We were going with like.
Oh, yeah, we did. We did veer off into no man's land a little bit there with the octopus. I'm not sure.
Just I have the octopus.
Just that you happen to have it. Okay.
Yeah, but if you had a story, it would have been like a cool.
Right, like there could have been like a point or something.
And it would have been amazing if you had this cool story and I slowly brought up the octopus.
Right? Yeah. No, that would. Even if I would have had a school bus story. So I'm kind of striking out. All right. Well, I'm only 2 for 3 here, so we've got one more to go. Actually, I guess I'm 2 for 2 because I got the cap too, right? So
How about the human mind? Do you have a story about the human
Ooh,
mind?
I bet I have something about the human mind. Let me think about this for a second. You know, this was something I thought this was fun. This came up for me this week and something that I was reading. And they were essentially talking about the different types of intelligences that we have, right? And so you can take this little quiz and it tells you what your different intelligences are. And so, for instance, you know, music can be like you can have a musical intelligence, or you can have, say, a naturalistic intelligence where you just like really tune into nature
Hmm.
easily. You have a strong connection to it, those sorts of things. And there's all these different intelligences. So I thought that was really like kind of a fun concept because you know we think of having interests or things that really speak to us or are part of our personality or who we've become, but I don't know that I ever thought about it as being an intelligence.
Hmm. That that brings up as channeling and intelligence. Do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think it is. It's in a way, it's something that's part of our DNA, obviously, right? It's part of who we've been created to be, but it's also sort of like our way of interacting with the world around us. And that's different for every one of us, which is really fun to think about. I mean, we could
Oh,
all rank similarly in some areas, but different in others.
oh. So we all have different intelligences going on in different parts of our mind. Like my music intelligence for playing music is very minuscule, but my intelligence for writing is pretty big.
Yeah, which I mean, when you really stop and think about it, is a lot of fun because all of us being a little bit different is what makes the world an exciting place to be in, right?
Mm. Because we constantly get to meet different people and into like it's like getting to explore new places we get to explore, and it's fascinating because yeah it's
Exactly. And just imagine what the world would be like if we weren't all different. I mean, what if we were really kind of all the same? After a little while, it would just be boring, right? I mean, half the fun of meeting someone new is, oh my gosh, this is someone who is totally unique, right? This is someone that's totally different than anyone else I've ever met. And then you get to find out all the ways that that person's different.
and for creativity and for evolving technology, like our differences is essential, because if we all thought of the exact same thing, be kind of in bad shape in terms of creating a future.
Yes, so true. I mean, if we didn't have our scientists, you know, who would be discovering our cures for different things, and if we didn't have our artists, who would be bringing, you know, that kind of beauty and creativity into the world in such unique forms. I mean, you're absolutely right. It just
Mm,
covers the gamut of things that each person brings to the table in their own unique way.
mm.
So that makes me curious. What are some of the things, or even just one? What's one thing that you feel like is a special talent of yours that you bring to the table?
Hmm.
I can think of one, but I'm gonna see. I'm gonna see. I'm curious what you're going to say.
I, I mean, we each bring so many, but but I love one of the talents I love to offer is I love to write, and so that's when I think of right away.
And I love your writing. I read your writing fairly often, and it's beautiful, and you obviously have a talent for it. So I completely and wholeheartedly agree with you that that is one of your intelligences, no doubt about it. Also,
What
I think that you have a gift for being lighthearted and for having fun and for just being able to laugh in life, you know. And not to say that everything in life is always easy for you. It's just that you choose to have that attitude and that approach to it.
that it's interesting you say that. I mean, we've known each other what maybe a year now.
Right.
And if you had known me like 15 years ago, I don't think you would have said that because I was so much more serious in my life then. So I think laughter and I know in my case more of this lightheartedness has been something I've learned and I've grown into a little bit.
Which I mean, I think is such an important point, right?
Mm,
Because some things don't come to us supernaturally,
mm,
but if we cultivate it, it's something that we can grow in our life. And
mm,
it's obviously something that you've cultivated.
mm. Thank you.
Absolutely.
What's one of your intelligences that you are particularly drawn to?
Yeah, that I'm drawn to. You know, it was kind of interesting taking the test because the intelligences that I ranked the highest in are actually not the ones that I focus that much on, which kind of surprised me.
Wow.
Yeah, I found that kind of interesting. So one of them that I do tend to focus on a little bit more is an existential, what they call an existential intelligence, which is sort of, I mean, kind of a fancy way of saying spiritual,
Mm,
right? And so that's something that I find really interesting. I read a lot about it. You know, I listen to a lot of things that may enter that realm of the existential. So,
I mean that is beautiful and what a great word to say. I have existential intelligence. That's great.
I should put that like on my Tinder profile or something, right?
That's awesome. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, if I had one that I could, I would do that.
It'd be
Uh,
interesting to see who you would attract with
yeah,
with.
that actually would be pretty interesting. And if we really want to have some fun and laughter in here, we'll talk about online dating, which is probably one of the most humorous activities I think we can engage in as humans. And yeah, I mean, it has served a purpose. I do know people that have found lifelong relationships online, so it can be done.
I keep being resistant to it because I have this story that I want to meet someone in person for whatever reason.
Yeah,
Have you
yeah.
had good experiences with online dating?
You know, I've done it in the past and I've had some good experiences and I've had some bad experiences, but I have some friends that, I met, via online dating and, that we're still friends to this day. So, it just varies. I think it's definitely, you have to do what you feel comfortable doing, right? And if it's not something you feel comfortable with, then just don't do it. There's plenty of ways to meet people in the world. And I think that's, it's just important that you do what you feel is right for you.
Hmm.
I agree, though. It's great if you can meet somebody in person. It's great if you can connect through friends. There's a lot of different ways, or even, through social media. I mean, nowadays there's so many different avenues through which we meet people or can meet people, and you just never know what will come of that. So I try
It,
not to roll too many things out.
it's such a good point. Like now, like in the, I want to say the olden days of the 90s, it was like we were kind of geographically limited, and
Yes.
more limited in terms of who we would meet for friends uh, or romantic or whatever. But now with Zoom, like those things zooming over,
Right. It's
things
so
zooming over.
true.
So
Buzz Lightyear style.
so we recently I've been watching a lot of Saturday Night Live, and not, I mean, the political skits are interesting, but the ones I'm most fascinated with are they have these actors who can just take on so many different characters, like women who can take on men's roles,
It's amazing.
and I mean, actors have been doing this forever, but it's still fascinating, and I would love to be able to do that, but
Mhm.
I kind of think my voice always sounds somewhat the same. So
Well, I don't know. I mean, Glenn Morshower does those acting classes, and something tells me that he can get people to do all sorts of things they've never done before. If you've
that sounds really fun to take one of Glenn's.
Doesn't it?
Have you done that?
I haven't yet, but I really want to do that. I think it
Does
would be
he
fun.
live? Does he live close to,
No,
like
he
in?
lives in Texas.
Oh, he lives in Texas.
Yeah, yeah. So, if I have cause to go to Texas, then I'll have to do it while I'm there.
When I gave my TEDx talk, Glenn Marshall gave a talk and Bob Donnell gave a talk at the same one. It was
No
a fun day.
kidding. I did not know that. That's so awesome. So is that where you met him?
No, I met Bob like like years ago through Secret Knock, and then I met Glenn at some point through Bob. So what are we doing now?
Yeah. So the one other thing that I thought it would be fun to do, because I just love to do this. This is fun for me. I don't know if it's fun for anybody else. Was to pull a card. So I pulled a card before I came on, and this is the card that came up. So if you can see that, it says expansion at the bottom.
Nice,
Yeah, isn't that cool?
nice.
Isn't that such a pretty card? So, and I kind of like
And
that
does it say anything on the back?
it doesn't. It's just got artwork on the back.
So
But
what does expansion mean to you on Tuesday, February 8th at
yeah,
2:44 p.m. Mountain Time?
yeah. So, and that's kind of what I wanted to talk about because I love this idea of expansion. And this fits in well with what we were talking about earlier, I think, in terms of our intelligences, right? Because I think that we all have these parts and pieces of ourselves that, obviously we're familiar with, but we don't necessarily always access in ways that we could.
Mm,
And so it kind of got me thinking about taking this test and having some of these intelligences come up and go, why haven't I been doing anything with those? I mean, they're obviously there for a reason. They're things that I do really enjoy. And so why aren't they a bigger part of my life? Right. And one of my goals for 2022 has been to have a lot of fun. And so,
Oh,
yeah. And so I thought, you know what? This is a perfect kind of like doorway into having more fun,
mm,
is to think about the ways that I can, really use those intelligences and make them a bigger part of my life.
wow. So what intelligences do you want to make a bigger part of your life in 2022?
Yeah. So one of them is music, and which
How do you want to make music a bigger part of your life?
I'm still trying to figure it out, to tell you the truth. I mean, I'm not entirely sure. I mean, I was a singer my whole life growing up, so I've been thinking about ways that I might be able to use that in sort of a unique way. Hopefully just to like bring some joy into people's lives, you know. I mean, that's really, I don't have any big plan for it. It's just something that I think I might be able to do. So that's one. What about you? What would you like to expand into this year?
Hmm.
I know this is a little tricky. You kind of have to think about it.
So 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 that there's the typical things that I want to expand into for business. Like I want to become much better at talking to decision makers about what I do. But you're inviting me to think a little bit out of the box beyond that.
I
So
am.
I oddly enough, even though I said said like my voice might not be my friend in sketch comedy, I think there's a way I could do sketch comedy, and it would be very challenging because I don't like observe like small details of I I get more into conversations than the details of how people are holding themselves and how
Mm,
to mimic those details. But I would love to be able to do some imitations
love
of
that.
people, some lighthearted imitations, and I
I
have
love
no
how
idea what that would look like. It feels scary because I just
Uh,
don't know what that would look like.
all right. Well, then that's added to the list. We've got our list started, right, for our 2022 expansions.
Mm.
And so we'll jot that one down. And next time when we circle back to everyone, we'll check in with you and see where you are on it.
And maybe next time you'll sing a bit of a song.
Maybe. Uh, well, this has been so much fun. I'm so glad that we were able to do this, and I really appreciate you coming on and just taking the time to be here with me.
Yeah, thanks for the idea. It's so fun, and Scuba Man has been thrilled to be here too.
Oh, thank you, Scuba Man. We greatly appreciate your presence here with us today.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
He sounds like he's on water. Is he okay, or is that just how he sounds most of the time? I didn't know if he had a cold or something. I just
You might have a little laryngitis going. You know when you're breathing oxygen in from a tank.
Oh, okay,
It
okay.
kind of yeah.
That makes sense.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I like diving. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to have to work on the imitation.
Well, we just want to thank you all for being here with us tonight. And if you've enjoyed this, please drop us a heart and share it out. It's been so much fun to be here with you. And just sending lots of love and light to all of you this evening, and hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. Good night,
Thanks for
everyone.
having me, and thanks to all of you watching.
Great
And
to have
Woody
you. Great to
says,
be here
have
together.
a great
And you
evening.
too, Woody. Thanks for popping on. Great to see you. I'll see if I can find Buzz before the next go around.
Awesome.
All right. We'll see you all soon.